In this video I'm going to show you a method of solving an algebraic fraction to find the value of x that obviously works that expression, that equation. So we're going to use some skills we used earlier. I'm going to do this step by step. Some of your teachers may show you in a couple of steps shorter, but I think it's good to see where the steps come from. So let's start from the beginning. We're adding two fractions together, so there we must have a common denominator. So as we did earlier, our common denominator is going to be x multiplied by x plus 5, simply multiplying the two denominators together. So then we'll have 7 multiplied by x plus 5, and then we'll add on 6 lots of x, and that will still be equal to 2. Now, solving this equation, quite a bit to be done here. We're going to multiply both sides by x multiplied by x plus 5. So the effect of that is on the left hand side to have 7x plus 5 plus 6x will equal 2 lots of x multiplied by x plus 5. Now we're going to multiply all these brackets out and then see what we get. So multiplying out the left hand side, we'll end up with 7x plus 35 plus 6x. On the right hand side we'll have 2x squared plus 10x. So now we need to do a bit of tidying up here, so let's see what we can do as our next step. Simplifying the left hand side, we get 13x plus 35, and our right hand side remains the same. I'm now going to piece together an equation where we've got something equals 0, so that's how we can solve a quadratic. So if we take 13x from each side, first of all we'll end up with 35 equals 2x squared minus 3x. Then we're going to take away 35, so we'll end up with an equation that is 2x squared minus 3x minus 35 equals 0. Now I'm going to solve this by inspection. I mean, some of you may use method. You might use the quadratic formula. Some may even attempt to complete the square. But I think I'd go down the route of looking at the two expressions and thinking, can I solve it by inspection? Right. So the first term will be 2x, because I know I've got to have 2x squared, so I'm going to have 2x and an x. So now I just need to think about numbers that multiply together to make 35. Well, the obvious pair will be 5 and 7. 1 and 35 I don't think will work in this particular case, so it's 5 and 7. Question of where do they go? So with a bit of trial and error, I know one's going to be plus, one's going to be minus. I'm going to have a plus 7 here and a minus 5 here, because the effect is I get 2x squared, and I get minus 10x plus 7x, so that gives me my minus 3x with minus 35 on the end. And now I've just got to solve find the value of x, which will give us 0 when multiplied out. So I can see from the second bracket that x must be 5. That'll be one solution. So x will be 5. And from the first bracket, 2x must be minus 7, so x must be 3.5. So those would be my two expressions. So x equals minus 3.5. So really the last part is just a question of solving a quadratic, but there's the technique here of adding fractions together, forming a common denominator, and then effectively multiplying through by that common denominator. With experience you might go straight from this step down to this step, but I prefer this little step in the middle so I can see what I'm doing.